the tests for the DQ, that is the developmental quotient. So what are the tests for the DQ? So basically in DQ we got two type of tests. One is the definite type of test, and second is your screening test. So in definite test, we include the Bailey scales of infant and toddler development, that's a Bailey 2. Then we have Stanford and Binet test. Then we have Wechsler's intelligence test, and then we have DASI 2, that is basically development activities, screening, inventory test, and then we have Vinland adaptive behavior scale 2. Okay, and then we got so what do we do in Bailey scale test? So Bailey scale test, we got this like very interesting criteria wherein we can assess the languages. We can also, in this we can assess the language, we can even assess, okay, so we can assess the language, we can even assess the behavior, we can even assess the fine motor skills. So yeah, we can assess all this. Okay, in Bachelor test we are gonna see the verbal and performance skills. In Bachelor test we are gonna see the verbal and performance skills, as I told. And in Stanford and Binet we are just gonna see the check for the IQ. So basically we are gonna check for the IQ. In case of Bachelor we are gonna check for the performance skills, and we can also assess for the full IQ. Okay, so it's not that we cannot assess for the IQ, we can assess for the IQ even over here. And we can even do the Vinland adaptive score, wherein in Vinland it's basically personal and social skills wherein we check. And we ask not the patient, we do not, means not the child, we do not ask to the child, यहाँ पे child को नहीं पूछते हैं, but instead we ask the caregiver. Okay, we just saw. And yeah, that's very important to know that over here. So here we learned like about 4 type of definitive test. So when it comes to definitive test, let's see what we learned. So basically in definitive test we learned Bailey, then we learned Stanford and Binet test, then we learned the Wechsler's type of test, and we also saw that this Stanford and Bailey, that's basically testing your IQ, and Wechsler's test is basically not just testing your IQ, but it's also testing for your verbal and performance skills. For verbal and performance skills have been checked. Then we have fourth, this Vinland adaptive behavior scale. Okay, so this is it. So it's basically the definitive test, and now we will see the screening test. So in screening test we have this 5 tests, that's a Denver, Fatak, Trivandrum, Fatak Baroda test. Then we have this Trivandrum developmental test, and then we have this CAT test, and then we have good enough test, and then we have the Gessel's figure. Now Gessel's figure, I will like to show you what are the Gessel's figures. So basically in the Gessel's test we test for this. Now what is this? So circle, as we know that child learns to draw the circle at the age of about 3 years, right? Then child learns to draw the plus, that is at the age of about 4 years. Then child learns to draw a square at the age of about 5 years. Then a triangle at the age of about 6 years, and then a diamond at the age of about 7 years. So this is what is assessed in a Gessel's test, wherein we will give a child a sheet of paper and ask to draw this. Okay, so this is a very important, very easy and a very important test. And alongside we can also even test for few more structures, like we got this plus sign, and we know that this has been assessed at 9 years. Then we have this cylinder, and cylinder can be drawn at about 9 years itself. And then we have this cube, and this cube can be drawn at about 11 years. Okay, so 11, and this is 9, and this is very important, and you can also remember it like this as, okay, I will take another page. So a line at 2, you can remember like drawing this cute diagram. So this is basically whatever you say, a girl or whatever. So this is basically at 2 years. I'm sorry, it's not even visible. So at 2 years a child can draw a straight line. At 3 years, the child can draw this circle. At 5 years, the child can draw this square or a plus sign, both. Then we have this triangle that is at the 6 years. Plus sign is basically at 4, but this square is basically at 5. Then we have this as 6 years, and then we have diamond, as we know, that's at 7 years. And then we have some other shape that I showed you, that is this double bold plus sign, that is basically at 9 years. Along with that, you can also draw cylinder, and basically this at 8 years. So cylinder at 9 years, and this cube basically at 11 years. So yeah, this basically 8 years and not 9 years. So forgive me for saying 9 years, it's basically 8 years, and this at 11 years. So it's quite a simple thing. Okay, now we go to next. Next is this good enough Harris draw test. Now, good enough Harris draw a man test is basically testing child's skill to draw a man. So we will give a sheet of paper to a child and we'll ask to draw a man. If the man resembles like a man, then it's okay, we will give a points. But if it resembles something like this, like totally like not like a man, then, or totally nonsense, not like a man, then yes, it is that child's DQ is not developed. So it's a type of screening test. Now we come to next, that is this Trivandrum development screening test, and we got this Patax Baroda screening test. So these are few regional type of tests present at different places. But now we come to this CAT. So CAT is basically the equipments are being used in the case of CAT. So what is CAT? So in basically a CAT test, we use this equipments, that is like the ring, sort of a red ring. I will show you the equipments instead. So this is basically CAT test, that's a cognitive adaptive test, wherein we got this following equipments. The one that is in red ring, and we got a string attached to it. I'll change the color so that it's better. Okay, it's not working. So basically, okay, here we go. Okay, so this over here, that's basically a ring with a string. So there's a first equipment. Then we got second equipment, that is basically this pointing over here, that's basically the 9 cubes. Over here there are 10 cubes, but basically we need 9 red cubes for sure. Then we have got one spoon, we got one spoon, then we got one cup, then we got doll and a mirror. Over here they are not showing any doll, but we really got a doll, and we also got a mirror, so that we'll check if patient can or if a child can identify himself. Okay, and we'll ask him to place these rings over this one by one. Then we'll also take one book with thick papers, or we will show these papers to him, and then we will have this cup with a handle, and over here the handle should be definitely present. So this all are the type of equipments. This is a book definitely. So this all are the type of equipments that should be used in the CAT test. Okay, so here we come to end of the tests related to DQ.